The Exorcist, 1973, movie review. The Exorcist, directed by William Friedkin, is a chilling and iconic horror film that has stood the test of time. Based on the 1971 novel by William Peter Blatty, the movie tells the terrifying tale of a young girl named Regan MacNeil, Linda Blair, who becomes possessed by a demon after using an Ouija board. Her mother, Chris MacNeil, Ellen Burstyn, a famous actress, is desperate to find a solution as Regan's condition rapidly worsens, exhibiting violent and grotesque behavior. Chris seeks the help of Father Karras, Jason Miller, a Jesuit priest and psychologist who is struggling with his faith. Eventually, Father Karras enlists Father Marin, Max von Sydow, a seasoned exorcist, to perform the dangerous ritual of exorcism, leading to an intense battle of good versus evil. Plot breakdown. The plot of The Exorcist is centered around the idea of demonic possession and exorcism, which is far from a new concept in religious lore. However, the movie's depiction is unique for its raw realism and psychological depth. What makes The Exorcist so effective is its ability to bring these supernatural events into the real world, making it feel believable. From Regan's unsettling transformation to the distress of her mother, the film brings an intensity and psychological horror that goes beyond mere shock value. The characters. The film's characters are integral to its lasting impact. Ellen Burstyn's portrayal of Chris MacNeil is a standout, as she balances vulnerability and strength in the face of the unimaginable. Her descent into desperation, as she tries everything possible to save her daughter, makes her relatable, even as the events become increasingly horrific. Linda Blair's performance as Regan is truly iconic, especially given her young age during filming. The physicality and emotional range she brings to the role are remarkable, particularly when Regan's transformation reaches its peak. Father Karras, played by Jason Miller, brings a deep emotional layer to the film. Karras is a character grappling with the loss of his mother and his crisis of faith, making him the perfect foil to the raw evil represented by the demon. Father Marin, played by Max von Sydow, is the hardened veteran of exorcism, providing an almost stoic counterpoint to Karras's more human struggles. Their relationship is one of the emotional cores of the film, with both priests working in unison to defeat the evil threatening Regan. Themes. The primary theme of The Exorcist is the battle between good and evil, but the film also delves into personal themes of faith, guilt, and the nature of suffering. Father Karras's internal conflict about his faith is central to the story, and his journey from doubt to conviction adds a poignant depth to the otherwise terrifying narrative. The film also explores maternal love and the lengths to which a mother will go to save her child, as Chris's determination to find a solution for Regan's possession is one of the driving forces behind the plot. Additionally, The Exorcist raises questions about the nature of evil itself, whether it's something supernatural or something that resides deep within humanity. The juxtaposition of the quiet suburban life and the unimaginable horror that Regan undergoes serves as a stark contrast, and the horrific events that unfold in an otherwise ordinary house make them all the more disturbing. The horror and impact. The film's horror is grounded not just in the supernatural, but also in the psychological. The movie doesn't rely on jump scares. Instead, it builds tension and unease over time, making each terrifying moment all the more unsettling. The grotesque physical transformation of Regan, along with the grotesque and disturbing imagery, is one of the things that makes The Exorcist unforgettable. The sound design and cinematography also add layers to the horror, creating an atmosphere that is unsettling from the first frame. Upon its release, The Exorcist was both a box office and critical success. It was one of the first horror films to be nominated for multiple Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Its legacy has only grown since, influencing countless films in the horror genre and becoming a cornerstone of pop culture. The iconic spinning head scene, Regan's exorcism, and the haunting score by Mike Oldfield have all become ingrained in the horror lexicon. Sequels and reboots. While The Exorcist stands on its own as a singular achievement in horror cinema, the film did spawn sequels. Exorcist II: The Heretic, 1977, and The Exorcist III, 1990, followed, although they were less well received. The latter, however, has gained a cult following over the years. There was also a prequel to the original, Exorcist, The Beginning, 2004, which delves into Father Merrin's backstory, but it too failed to capture the magic of the first film. A more recent TV series, The Exorcist, 2016-2017, took the basic premise of the film and adapted it for the small screen. Although it was a solid series with some good scares, it didn't quite capture the same sense of dread and emotional depth that made the original so powerful. Touch. Comparisons to other horror films. The Exorcist is often compared to other religious horror films, such as Rosemary's Baby, 1968, and The Omen, 1976. However, The Exorcist is often considered the definitive example of demonic possession stories in cinema. Its deeply psychological elements set it apart, as it focuses not just on the terror of the possession, but also on the internal struggles of the characters. It paved the way for other films in the genre, influencing movies like the Conjuring series, Insidious, and Paranormal Activity.